Chase Williams alongside the former head coach and Dave Campo. This is Cowboys OT live on TXA 21 and DallasCowboys.com. The Cowboys get it done, coach, in an ugly fashion, but a win is a win is a win. Tony Romo absolutely brilliant in the fourth quarter. His 24th career comeback was a thing of beauty, and he did it without Dez Bryant.
Yes, absolutely. The defense played out of their minds tonight, and Randy Gregory, we'll get to him a little bit later on in the show. This kid is for real, the rookie out of Nebraska. 2-0 Dallas Cowboys against the 2-0 Atlanta Falcons. Doesn't really feel like a battle of unbeatens because life after Tony Romo begins right now for the...
What is the deal with this team taking spa days leading up to game day? You obviously were a part of a ton of teams with success. Last season, the Cowboys got off that 8-8 treadmill. Obviously, deep postseason success. How do you think this team will rebound and handle the expectation?
And ultimately, you know, that was the difference. Once Julio Jones gets rolling, it's like a snowball rolling down the mountain. You can't stop it. It's unbelievable to watch. That's 3 games in a row for Julio Jones going over the century mark.
The boys headed to Philly to face old pal DeMarco Murray and the Eagles. It's going to be like seeing the ex-girlfriend on a date with the new guy. And Whedon, who now steps into that QB1 role, how much will he help him over what's going to be the next 7-8 games? It's nice, but now the Cowboys must find their way without Tony Romo. Hello and welcome into Cowboys Insider, presented by Baylor Scott and White Health. I am Chase Williams. Mark it down. 9:44 mark of the third quarter in Philadelphia could be the defining moment of the Cowboys season. Tony Romo taken off the field with a fractured left clavicle. He called him Superman as far as recovering. We know Dez can do superhuman things, but who steps up their role? I think the offensive line must get better in week number 3. They struggled against the Eagles. Joseph Randle made something out of nothing several times, and we got to get that run game going.
With that final goal line stand there, forcing the field goal, but they pressured Eli all night long, and I think it started with Tyrone Crawford, the guy that just got paid.
Yeah. These are two guys, not only the 2 best players on this team, but arguably the best at their positions in the entire NFL. Coach, is this just too much to overcome these 2 guys?
Jerry said they don't have to wait on help to get better. To me, that says, hey, with this team who we have right now, even with Brandon Whedon at quarterback, we're pretty good and we expect to win.
I think OC's drinking a few too many Mai Tais on the beach somewhere in retirement. I don't know if it's the Pope making his presence known in the U.S. or what, but today, all I can say is hallelujah for college football. Hands down, flat out, one of the most entertaining days I've seen in quite some time. And unfortunately for Texas fans, not enough Hail Marys to get them out of this one. Horns hosting Oklahoma State. Third quarter, Okie State up 24-20. But Mason Rudolph is picked off by Holton Hill, who takes it back 41 yards to the house for the touchdown. Texas up 27-24. Later in the fourth, tied at 27. 42 ticks left, and the Texas punter mishandles the snap. And that'll set up Oklahoma State with great field position, and they make the Horns pay. Ben Grogan with 10 ticks left on the clock. He bangs home the 40-yard field goal for the game winner, and the Pokes, they've won 4 straight in the state capitol. Wild went out in West Texas as the Red Raiders trying to avenge last year's 82-27 loss to TCU. Fourth quarter, Frogs up 3. Patrick Mahomes rolls, fires to Justin Stockton, and he just outruns his defender, finds the end zone. Tech up by 4. 29 seconds left on the clock. Heisman hopeful Trevon Boykin throws to Josh Dotson, but it's off his fingertips, falls to Aaron Green. Better to be lucky than good, I guess. TCU up by 3. It would come down to this. Mahomes doing his best, but TCU sniffs it out. They hang on 55-52, over 1,300 yards of total offense, and a big-time Big 12 battle. Down in Waco, Baylor found themselves trailing Rice early, but that didn't last for long. Seth Russell finds Katie Cannon streaking down the middle of the field for the touchdown. Baylor would tally 793 yards on just 78 plays. They have quite the touchdown scoring bonanza on the Brazos. 70-17 the final. Brandon Whedon is not Tony Romo. That couldn't be more apparent. However, the Cowboys have to rely on the former first-round draft pick to keep them afloat, while Romo rests and repairs that fractured left clavicle. Tony went down last week after Jordan Hicks landed on him midway through the third quarter, the second time Tony has broken his collarbone. He's not eligible to return until November 22nd against the Dolphins. The front office, meanwhile, picked up Matt Castle as a nice insurance policy, but Whedon says, hey, I've got this.
Playing this position's hard. I mean, with
Game 2 of 3 between the Rangers and Astros in Houston. Bottom 3, Carlos Correa hits his second home run of the game, a 2-run homer to left scoring George Springer. That ties it at 4. Correa finished 3 of 4 with 3 RBI. Astros hit 6 home runs off Rangers pitching today. They win 9-7, cutting that Rangers division lead to 3.5. Rangers magic number at 5. And Texas A&M just beats Arkansas 28-21 in overtime. So happy night.
When we come back, we will hear from Tony Romo and all about that comeback game-winning drive. That's up next here on Cowboys OT Live on TXA 21.
This bromance would still be intact if it weren't for Frank Gore. He had a deal in line with Philadelphia, backed out, that opened the way for DeMarco Murray. He's played a huge role in this afternoon's 20-10 win over the Eagles. The block punt there, Coach, and you were part of the Cowboys back in 2010 when Danny McCray joined the team as an undrafted free agent. Why is this guy so good at special teams? Just like this guy's story. Didn't start a game at USC, and now he's made something of himself when he got the opportunity. At this defense, they played one heck of a ball game, and none better than number 50, Sean Lee, 14 tackles, couple tackles for losses.
I don't think it is the passing yards. It's got to be the turnovers. Brandon Whedon has to protect the ball. Can't be throwing picks against this high-powered Atlanta offense.
And the New York media, an absolute trip. They rip Eli Manning for a critical mistake he made late in the fourth quarter of the ball game. To help us out through the show, the crew split it right down the middle. 5 wins for the Cowboys, 5 for the Eagles. And who better to help us break down the latest installment than a guy who's been on both sides of the rivalry. It's Brian Baldinger of the NFL Network.
The Cowboys defense through the first 2 games played exceptionally well, especially the secondary. Again, in the first half today, Mo Claiborne, Brandon Carr, J.J. Wilcox, the entire secondary as a whole.
So they were saying after last week's abysmal performance, he'll come back, break out against his former teammate. But DeMarco Murray leaves the Cowboys, goes to Philadelphia for $21 million guaranteed, $9 million guaranteed for this season. He has just 11 yards rushing. Can you imagine how frustrated he is right now? You saw it on the sideline. Sam Bradford struggled early against the Falcons, rebounded nicely in the second half, but his accuracy is suspect, and it doesn't seem like he can throw the ball down the field. Do you agree? Well, the guy completed 80% of his passes for over 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tony Romo just stupid good on Sunday night against the
Jace Williams and Dave Campo back with you here on Cowboys OT Live on TXA 21. Cowboys winners 27-26 over the New York Giants. Let's hear from the hero tonight, Tony Romo.